Johnson of Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you for coming before our committee today and testifying. Let me ask, were either one of you in a decision-making role, either part of the decision-making process to having received the request for increased security at our compound in Benghazi, or denying that security or denying the support when it was asked for in those tragic last moments? Were either of you a decision maker?
You know, in the run-up to the attack that took place in Benghazi, as the ARB report makes clear, there were a number of requests that were made by.
Were either of you
no.
a decision maker?
No.
Then I'm not sure why we're talking to you two guys. You see, I'm way past the rhetoric of the YouTube video and the ruse the administration tried to perpetrate on the American people in an election year. The American people are looking for accountability. Who made these decisions that got 4 Americans killed? I spent 26 and a half years in the Air Force. Our troops and our diplomats that go into foreign places in harm's way go with the knowledge of 2 things. One, they understand that there's a risk, but they also understand that they are citizens of the greatest, most powerful nation on the planet, and they go with the confidence that America is going to do everything possible to ensure their security. It is unconscionable to me that anyone, any American diplomat, would be in a situation where their security requests would be denied and that forces were not in place to respond when and if things got out of control. I want to look at a couple of things in the report. The report says that although the interagency response was timely and appropriate, I don't know how we can say that. We got 4 dead Americans. There was not enough time for military assets to arrive and make a difference. Intelligence provided no immediate, specific, tactical warning of the attacks. In other words, we got surprised. We got surprised. One of the most important factors in warfare is the element of surprise. And we are at war with these seemingly invisible elements of terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah. We've known about the importance of surprise for generations and throughout the study of the art of war. Throughout my military career, I've studied and practiced not only how to best exploit the element of surprise to gain the advantage against our adversaries, but also how to prevent our nation from falling victim to surprise. To say that we had no warning when clearly there were requests for increased security, to say that we had no warning after repeated requests for additional security represents absolute failure on someone's part. And I want to know who made the decision that our ambassador and his staffs, that their lives were not worth the risk of adequately preparing security for what we knew was a dangerous place. You see, the bad guys were sitting out there watching. They were testing the soft underbelly of America's resolve. That's been our soft underbelly since we were founded as a country. Are we really willing to stand up and protect the individual freedoms and liberties of the American people when the die is cast? They were probing, and they saw no response to a worsening security situation, and they caught us by surprise. It was a failure. The other thing the report says, that there was inadequate leadership and management by officials in Washington. That's why I gave you guys a back door to walk out of. You weren't decision makers, but somebody was. That's an understatement, that there was inadequate leadership. But to say it's excused because it was not willful is disturbing to me. When national security is at stake, leadership demands action. When serious security risks put American lives at stake. And in my view, the decision makers who chose not to provide that security demonstrated not only irresponsibility, but willful misconduct, and they should be held accountable. Mr. Burns, You answered earlier, before we had to take our break, that we were using every available resource in the State Department to get answers to these questions. You know, the State Department can't even muster the resources to free an American veteran being held illegally in Mexico against his will. I have little optimism that the State Department will achieve positive results on bringing the murderers to justice that killed our ambassador and his staff. I respect that you two are here, but I want the decision makers in front of this Congress to answer to the American people on why we've got 4 dead Americans.
Well, Congressman, let me just say a couple of things. First, with regard to the issue of bringing to justice those responsible for those murders, what I said was that every resource of the U.S. government, not just the State Department, is being brought to bear on that, and we are absolutely
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
But that young man is still in Mexico, so.
Yes, sir. And
Thank you.
And sorry.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you.